Hello there. Today I'm going to be going over my sketches for the 2.4 challenge. So we'll get started with the login screen and then we'll end with the modular dashboard for the Keep Going First Aid Company. So first off, we have the logo, and then I also included some input fields for the username and their password. Okay, so as well as show me a password. You want to show the password. There's a checkbox, so you can show your password if you want to see it, and then a login button. And at the very bottom, we have the forgot password. If the user does forget their password, they can go ahead and click on that or select that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the login screen. Pretty basic. For the orders list page sketch, we have now when it comes to the orders list page, the user is going to need to know a few things. They're going to need to know the order ID number. They're going to need to know the date, the return, the name of the customer, so they know who to ship it to. They need to know the total that was paid out, and then the status, it was complete. In other words, did they fulfill the order, or is it still being processed? So that's number one. With this page in particular, I included some search icon and then an up and down arrow if they want to go out, scroll down to see more orders. This is the basic layout that I sort of got from inspiration and some other examples that are where people usually shop online. Let's move on to the orders details page. You have the order number, which this is obviously a reference to the previous page. I did it right out as an example, an example of what an order could look like. Obviously, this is all made up. I coming from the orders list page, and then so that it's displayed in the orders details page. I'm not sure. Now, I did include some other things that are not really related to the orders to the user. I could keep that, or actually, if it would make sense, but to me, I would have to make it make sense. I would have to make more pages, so I will probably get rid of this and just keep it more simple for the user. Simple. This doesn't really serve much of a purpose. For the order details page, this is only focused on the orders item. So again, I try to come up with some numbers so I could see it visually. Customers also get an order summary sometimes that looks like this, but this is more so for the user to edit. So I included the shipping address, which they can edit, the delivery method, which they can also edit if they want to change if the customer wants to change the way their delivery method, they can do that through here. They have the tracking ID number, which of course they use that info to help track the order from the orders list page. And then there's also the order from Brian, which is from the example that I did earlier. It's right here. Right. So this is Brian's order detail page, and that is it for this page. Now we're gonna look at the claims page. So if we're looking carefully at the top right, we have an update button after the user is able to make changes to the customer claims. The customer will see the updated changes when the user goes in here and changes, their data. So if a customer left a comment, or if the user that is looking at this wants to make a report based off a comment that was made on a phone call or notes that they want to send out, they can look at that information here. When they read the information, they will direct that to the distribution team, or whoever in the distribution team specifically can make adjustments to the order itself. And then we also have, of course, if they have the order ID, they can type it in here, and the item will come up. Now, of course, the customer buying the item does not have the ability to, doesn't need to have the order ID, because they're just clicking on the item on the shopping website, on the shopping page in the website. Now, this is all the information that the user can confirm with the customer. If that way, the customer can clear up any confusion to the customer. If the customer is confused about a delivery date, they can confirm that here. Or if they want to change the delivery, the item that they delivered, the item will be right here, and they can confirm that with them. And of course, after changing all the information, they can click the update button, and then it will all be updated on the customer's end. So that is that. And last but not least, we have the modular dashboard. For this page, I also included some other tabs as well, which I thought served they could be. I also did add some other words as well: administration, search settings. These are not really needed for. I realize these are not really related, but I still kept them in there for visualization purposes. I do see how executives could use this some of this data, but I also want to focus on the displaying the information on the actual page rather than having different pages here. Now, one way I could maybe apply more of this would be to have a scroll page. We could add hyperlinks so that way if they click on reports, they'll scroll down to the reports page, and then same thing with documentation and so on. We have general statistics, which will be on the bottom of the page. On the top, there's a chart. In this case, I showed people that are visitors to the website, and then purchases. Now, actually, this is not accurate by any means. I just drew this on the fly because I wanted to get sort of a visual, more so to have a visual to signal, okay, we're gonna have a chart displayed here. And then maybe it could be a purchases chart, showing the different purchases throughout the month. I also included, if they want to look at this is the monthly trend, and then there's a week trend as well. If they want to look at that as well, they can look at that data, and then those numbers that are displayed will give them more confidence on whether to make a decision based on the company's outlook. Overall, I think this is okay. I think, again, I think I could have focused more on the spacing, a little bit of the spacing, especially over here. There's a little bit more space on this side, on the login page. Try to do a better job of alignment. I think the handwriting is okay. Maybe there's some words here and there that are hard to read. I also try to simulate what a computer screen. Usually they have the X at the top to close out and to enlarge or minimize. So I did include that. I also included a profile for the user itself, notifications, settings, and then a down arrow, which I guess is I would assume that would be for more actions. I didn't really make specifics of icons. Sort of, a lot of them were mostly intuitive. I figured I would also have the logo display. I used an X symbol with a box and then the logo. That way I don't have to redraw the logo every single time I want where I want to display the logo, so I'll use that. Of course, in the wireframes, it will be a lot more detailed and perfected. All this will be fine-tuned in the front wireframes. I also took into account that Keep Going First Aid, being a small family-owned company, does use computer desktop as a device. Now, I don't know, maybe down the road they want to use laptops, or maybe they want to use tablets, and then the layout of all this could look really different, or maybe the same. So for some pages will have a lot of changes. Maybe the change will be less prominent, but I went with the desktop sort of layout for this. Now, I did not. I would have done. One thing I would have done differently would probably be using more precise measurements for the pages. They're all. I made all pages 17 inches wide. Obviously, the desk more so like a desktop, but I wish I could have gone more into gotten numbers correct with the device size, the screen size itself. Maybe that would have given me a little more space to work with. And I think overall I did okay. Did okay with the layout. The layouts they seem okay to me. I think there are some grounds for improvement on layouts and specific information display. When it comes to displaying the information, I think there's some things that could be taken out and replaced with some other element for the user. So that way the needs of the users are met. Of course, that way the distribution team has the list page, the orders details page, and then customer service will manage the claims, and then the executives can just look at the modular dashboard, and that's how this will work out. Again, any feedback is helpful. I would also include more pages for the users, not just one page for each user. There's many ways we could take this in terms of elevation. I already mentioned. I mentioned we could also use different screens, devices, tablets. I was thinking about tablets. Many companies use tablets on the warehouses, specifically e-commerce. So that's one thing. Yeah. Okay, that is all I have for this video, and I want to thank you for spending the last few minutes with me, and thank you for watching.